Okay, welcome to the first tutorial on how to program Pong in Blitz Basic. So let's get started. Okay, we start with the startup. So I'm putting a semicolon. This is just a notation to add remarks to your program, so it will ignore everything in green. It will ignore everything before the semicolon. Okay, so when it's in green, everything on that line beyond the semicolon will be ignored. Okay, and then we have the initialization section. And then we'll have the main loop, and then functions, should we choose to add any. For the main game it's not going to have any functions, but we might want to alter the program later. Okay, you don't have to put this in, but it helps and it makes the code easier to read. Okay, so we want to set our graphics mode. So this makes we're going to make a 640 by 480 across window in 16-bit color, and it's going to be in window mode, so we're going to get a window on the screen. Then set the buffer to the back buffer. Okay, and this draws all the screen information to the back buffer first, and then flips it to the front buffer. Okay, and then the front buffer gets cleared when you clear the screen, and it flips it, and then the front buffer then becomes the back buffer. It draws to the back buffer and flips it to the front of the screen. Okay, using the flip command in the main loop. We're not going to put it here, we're going to put it in the main loop. It's rather like a flip book or like a printer buffer. Okay, so it's already drawn in its computer memory what it's going to display to the screen. That way it helps eliminate flicker. Okay, but you must have set buffer, back buffer, and the flip command in order to get things to move on the screen. Otherwise you're not going to see anything if you just put that command in, those commands in, without the flip command. Okay, because it will just remain on the back buffer. Okay, the next thing, we want to give it a title, app title, and let's call it Pong. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of our startup for now, and next we need some variables. The first one, we need some images. We need an image for the ball, and I'm going to set that image equal to load image. Okay, and it's going to be load image. Actually, I'll just tabulate this a little better. Load image, just call it ball.bmp, and that's the name of the file that it's going to load. Okay, and another variable, image player, and that's going to be equal to that. Let's call it bmp, bitmap, for bitmap format. Okay, and these two files have to be in the same directory as your main program. Okay, you can put them in different directories if you do a backslash and then put the full path, whatever it is, and then you can put it in a different directory. Say if it's stored on the root drive, you put that, but we're going to store it in the same directory, so we don't need to put that. Okay, so if you just specify it like this, it has to be in the same directory as your program, which you will save as, I don't know, Pong. Okay, so we're also going to do the same thing for the computer, because the computer is going to have the same image. Okay, so oops. Okay, so computer. So we're going to use the same image for the computer. Sorry, as the player. Okay, and they're both going to have bats. Okay, and also we need some variables to tell it where to start on the screen. So player underscore x. I like that. You can call it anything you want, just so long as you know what it is and what it refers to, then that's fine. Okay, so player 1 X, we want it to start at 20, so that will start at 20 pixels in from the left of the screen. Okay, and the player Y position, we're going to set it at 420, so near the bottom of the screen. Remember, Y increases as you go down the screen. Okay, and we want similar variables for the computer. Okay, so we want it to start at 20 in from the screen. Okay, it's 640 across, and our bat's going to be 20 wide, and we want it 20 in from the screen. So 600 plus 20 plus 20 is 640, which is what our graphics is across the screen, number of pixels across the screen. And of course, we want to start the computer's paddle at the bottom in the same Y position. Okay, so player 1's going to be on the left of the screen, starting at near the bottom, and the computer's bat is going to be starting near the bottom of the screen on the right. Okay. Okay, and we also need some variables for the ball. So ball underscore X equals, we'll start it at 50-50. Okay, so it's 50. It's going to start approximately just slightly in from the top left hand corner with those coordinates. We also need some other variables for the speed of the ball. Speed underscore X and equals, we'll set it equal to 5 to start with. This is the speed. It's going to move in the X and Y directions, and they're going to be the same speed, so it's going to move at 45 degrees. Initially it's going to move at 45 degrees down and to the right. Okay, from the top left. It's going to start somewhere at the top left at 50-50, and then it's going to move down and right. Okay, plus 5 in the X and Y directions. Okay, remember, Y increases as you go down the screen, X increases as you go across the screen. Okay, so the next thing, we need some scores. So I'm going to call this P score, P underscore score for player score, and it's going to start at 0. The same for the computer score, which is also going to start at 0. Okay, and I think we're about done with the initialization section. Okay, moving on to the main loop. I'm going to use a while when loop. Okay, so this continues while a certain condition, until a certain condition is met or not met. So you can go while not, or you can go while something or something is true, or you can go while not something is not true. Okay, and whenever that condition is met after the while, then it will exit the while when loop. Otherwise it will just keep going round. W end means without end. Okay, so it will continue whilst a certain condition either holds true or is not true. I'm going to put while not key hit 1. Okay, so it's going to continue and continue and continue until the escape key is pressed. Okay, if we run this program now, we will get errors because we haven't made ball.bmp or bat.bmp. It's going to say, like, where is it? Okay, so the first thing we'll do is actually save our program. Save as, we'll save it in the Pong directory that I've made, and we'll save it as Pong1. Okay. Okay, so now to make the bat and the ball, it's a simple case of making those bitmaps in Paint. So file, new, okay, and image, we've got attributes, and we'll have a 20 by 20 ball. Okay, I'll click OK and I'll save that. File, save as, and I'll save it in my Pong directory, and here we go, and I'll save that as ball Okay, and it will save it as a bitmap image, and I want to change the attributes, and I'll change the height this time to 60. Okay, and I'll file and I'll save that as bat. Okay, in the Pong directory, and now I have my bat and my ball. Okay, so I'll run the program now, and as you can see, nothing happens, and that's because we haven't drawn the image to the screen. Now we need to draw the image to the screen. Notice it's going the while when loop, so it just keeps on going around the while when loop until I press escape. Okay, and then it exits this loop, but it hasn't got anything in there at all. So the next thing we need to do is draw these images to the screen. So I can go draw image, and I specify the variable for the image ball, and I want to draw that at ball X and ball Y. Blitz Basic is not case sensitive, but it's good practice just to make sure you use the same cases with regards to capitals and small letters, just because it makes it easier to read. And when I run, okay, I forgot to flip the screen. Okay, so you need this flip command. Okay, and there is our ball at 50-50. Okay, that's 50 across and 50 down. Okay, and we should draw an image for the two players, the computer player and obviously the human player. So that would be at player underscore X, player underscore Y. Okay, and also for the computer. Okay, so now we should have, I will just indent that so that you know that that is within that loop. So now we should have the images for all of these. Okay, and as you can see, they're both 20 in from the edges of the screen. Okay, and this starts at 50-50. Okay, and that's our basic setup. Okay, not only this, we also want to write the score to the screen as well. So we can do this with the text command, okay, for writing the score. Okay, so we can put in text, okay, which will draw it on the graphics window, and we should put it maybe at the top somewhere in the middle. Okay, so we use the text, and then we specify the X and Y position. So not 320, say 280 across, and maybe about 40 down. Okay, and then we'll put these scores. Okay, so we should put just P score, and then we should put a space in between there, plus, and just put a semicolon in there, and then plus C score. Okay, so we get it at the top of the screen. Okay, so 0, 0 at the moment. I maybe need to shift that across a little bit, and then it will display hopefully approximately in the middle. Okay, yes, and maybe a little bit up. Okay, so I'll just reduce that to say 20. Okay, and there we have the start of a Pong game. Okay, this is the end of this tutorial. I'm running out of time, but you can see what all this does. Okay, so just save it in your Pong directory, and I'll see you next tutorial. Okay.